What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Starter Friday. I'm here, and we here with
Zay.
And we're a little excited for this video because we are reacting to
a podcast with Lebron and Reddick.
Now, a podcast with LeBron and Reddick. Like, what were you telling me earlier about what you feel about the podcasters, like how they don't talk about?
Oh, so basically, right? They had came out and said how LeBron and they gonna focus on like strictly the game of basketball. Like they're not gonna be worried about the off court drama stuff. And I feel like that's really cool because we're gonna watch one of the greatest of all time and one of the greatest shooters of all time break down the game of basketball. And I feel like it's just gonna be really interesting. Yeah. Like I might tune in to every podcast.
Yeah, cause like no cap, we see a lot of podcasts like Podcast P. We see. Just outside the game of basketball, you got Michael Parsons' podcast. Like all of their podcasts, we usually just hear about what like outside drama stuff going on with fans' opinion, them basically talking to fans. So it's like this is good to know that they're breaking down the game, what they want in the game. We might see a lot of rule changes because LeBron.
Yeah, because they're gonna be voicing their
opinion. Yeah, so let's get into it.
First of all, dude, I'm so excited to have this conversation. It's like, it's gonna be fun. I just want to, before we start, I want to make sure we're on the same page with like why we're doing this, right?
Thank you.
I think like the core, it's got to be what nothing else is, which is we're celebrating the game, right? So I think overall, like I want it to feel comfortable, relaxed. I want it to strike a very positive tone. I typically rant about things. I'm gonna probably rant today. Like it just comes out naturally, like whatever. Let's do it. Welcome to Mind the Game with LeBron James and Reddick. This is a new podcast presented by Uninterrupted and 342 Productions. I want to be clear here. This is a basketball show. This is a show with the intention and purpose to celebrate the game, promote the game, explain the game. We will be covering a number of topics, not just the NBA. NCAA, men's and women's, WNBA, FIBA. LeBron and I are two people who I would call us obsessed with the game of basketball, with this sport that has given so much to us. And 2 weeks ago, we sat down in LA to record the first two episodes. The first episode actually asks a simple question. What makes a great basketball player? Beyond just talent and skill set. And we touch on a number of things that we think make a great basketball player. This is about creating separation. Once you get to the highest levels, everybody has talent. Everybody has skill. How do you separate yourself? One of the things we talk about is basketball intelligence. In some ways, it's a nod to the title of the show. And we posit the question, can you learn basketball intelligence? Can you learn and develop basketball?
You want to just get to the podcast?
What'd you bring?
Well, we're gonna start off.
He's the only one that can get away with that. It's JJ.
Yeah.
It's JJ Reddick. But we just gonna cut it out the video for you guys.
Chamberlain, 2012. I brought this. This is special. My first championship year. Very special to me. So
it's a good vintage in Burgundy.
Very, very good vintage. And then Lynch Bosch, 95. I just brought that. I just feel like that's a nice little aftershock. But I'm gonna open the 2012 Chamberlain, and then we could just. That's okay.
It's more than okay with me.
I heard he's a wine guy too. So.
Well, I told you this. We were originally supposed to.
No, I'm young, so of course, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people that are watching this, we're young, so I'm pretty sure y'all would agree, but I've never understood the purpose to wine.
I like it.
I never understood it.
I had like,
what does it do? Does it get you tipsy?
I mean, no, I've been drunk off of wine. It takes more, obviously, but like, I had like 3 like big ass cups of red wine, and I had me feeling pretty like loose.
I've only had it once, but it just tasted like cranberry.
Yeah, it's like a
Cranberry juice.
bitter. It's like a bitter liquid. That's why people like it over just regular liquor or beer because it doesn't have that like burning taste. If that makes sense. If you know, you know.
A lot of grown people like it. Like they just sit and just talk over wine. Okay.
It actually makes you more relaxed. Yeah. So it kind of makes sense.
This first sit down in New York. So in anticipation of that, I actually brought 3 bottles of 89 Leroy Fwdamooo Roche to the office. And obviously some things came up. We didn't make it work, so...
That's a great sound, by the way.
We were both on the same page.
Yes,
we were both on the same page,
absolutely.
which I love. It's funny, I called your game Wednesday night against the Clippers. You had just an insane fourth quarter. And I was talking about, as it relates to you, competitive stamina. Which is simply the ability to do something at a high level and then get up.
Okay. My fault for pausing, but seeing LeBron off the court and on the court is like seeing 2 different people, in my opinion. It's like
because you don't even hear his voice for real.
When he on the court, you just hear him yelling and you just see him giving people buckets. But like when he off the court, he's just a cool dude, just a cool regular civilian.
Yeah, he's just a regular person.
Yeah. So
Stay and do it again. And for you, that's happened season after season, year after year. I think the best players have a level of competitive stamina. And
see, he's better than me. Right here, that's not a lot of wine.
I would have filled
That shit would have been like right here.
More like up there. Yeah.
Up there. God damn.
players have a level of competitive stamina. And it's one of 3 qualities for me that make a great basketball player. Because your quote after the game, it was, I know I was born with some gifts and athletic abilities, but that only gets you so far.
For sure.
What are the qualities for you that make a great basketball player? Beyond just talent and skill set and size.
Knowing the history of the game. Knowing the history of the game, knowing the ones that came before you, knowing the ones that paved the way, knowing the reason why you're actually having the ability to actually live out your dream. That doesn't happen without the people that came before you. It doesn't happen without...
I'm sorry. I hate when people say this stuff. I gotta disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree.
With LeBron?
Yes.
I ain't never seen this from you.
Yeah, I have to. I hate that because there's a lot of people in today's age and today's time that are really good basketball players, but it's like, it's a respect thing. Because it's a lot of these old people and these old heads that don't respect the young players. And I'm such a big person that's on like, why should I respect you if you don't respect me?
Yeah.
We 2 people, even though you done did more than me. You know what I'm saying? If respect not coming from a mutual way when I first approach you, or if you see my game at first, like it was a clip of MJ not fucking with Cat. But like, if I'm Cat, why am I going up to MJ and, you know what I'm saying, this is a person I looked up to my whole life and he not respecting me. He didn't even know I exist when I was looking up to him. And I meet him and I'm good at basketball doing the game because of him. And he don't even respect me when I see him, so why should I give you any more respect? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me though. That's just me. Because there's a lot of people in the league like that nowadays. A lot like that today. Like Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller's like that. This nigga don't care about LeBron. He don't care about Jordan. He said Paul George is GOAT. He said Paul George is his GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like
Bill Russell, going through what he went through during the civil rights movement and all those things. Oscar Robertson going on with what he had to deal with, during those times. It does not happen if they're able to just be pure in who they are. That allows us to now perform and do it with no care. Also, I think discipline at people, people use that word so loosely.
What does it mean to you?
You have to have the ability, when it comes to discipline, it's like you have to sacrifice loved ones.
Is he lying?
Can we put some emphasis on that first? Can we put some context behind that?
There is context.
What do you mean you have to sacrifice?
So, right, for example, if you're trying to make sure you work out every day, but your girlfriend keeps trying to stop you from working out, you have to put your foot down and be like, no, I'm going to go work out.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what he means.
Yeah, but it's like he didn't say that though. He just says sacrifice. Illuminati.
You have to sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time if you want to be great. It is very unfortunate, and you feel it at times. You know the saying: if it's too hot, get the hell out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta get out of the kitchen because it gets hot.
I've never noticed that.
But you have to have a discipline. To sometimes you have to sacrifice loved ones in order to be great because they don't understand.
And card just took.
And that's okay. They don't understand what it means to, like, I am getting up every single day at 5 or 6 a.m. And when I get home after everyone leaves the gym, I'm going to take a nap. So now you're sacrificing your loved ones because you're not spending time with them. And when I wake up, I'm probably going to train again. And then I'm going to have dinner. And then I'm going to bed. And I'm going to do that every single day for a long period of time. That's sacrificing and discipline. And for me, I was 18 when I came into the league. So I got my best friends from high school that's now in college. I got one that's at Ohio State. I got 2 that's at the University of Akron. I have another one that's at a school in West Virginia, Fairmount State. And they're calling me, telling me, hey, bro, you gotta come down to these parties. You're not going to college. You're never going to be in college. And I couldn't do it. I look back on it now. I wish I would have done a few of them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I did. But then the third thing JJ asked, do you really love the game? Like, do you really love the game? And I'm not just talking about like wins and losses. Do you really love the process of the game and everything that happens before the referee does like this? That's the easy part. You know this. You was one of the first ones in the gym, one of the last ones to leave. Everyone sees when the cameras are rolling and the 20,000 fans are there and the cheerleaders are dancing and the popcorn is popping and the celebrities are sitting in celebrity row. But like, who has the love for the game when nobody is there?
I love all of that. And it's interesting, the love of the game part is so funny to me because I think there's a distinction between loving the game, i.e. the game, the actual competition itself, and what it means to actually love the game and everything that goes into that. You hear guys all the time, I just want to play. Okay, do you want to do all the things that are necessary that lead up to playing the actual game?
Well, the guys that say I just want to play their career won't be long.
Yeah,
because they're not going to put in all the intricate parts of to get to that point. It's not going to last that long. It's not going to last that long. You won't have a long, sustainable career, and that's okay. Some guys, I mean, you've been in a locker room. Some guys don't really care about playing a long time in this league or having a sustain. You have that. So sometimes I look in like some of the all-star locker rooms I've been in, and you see a guy 1 year, or you see a guy maybe 2 years, and then he's not in the locker room anymore after that, and you just like wonder to yourself why. You don't know. You don't know if it's the.
Is he throwing a slug at somebody?
I mean, it's LeBron. He's had like over 100 teammates. 200.
Julius Randle. That's who popped up in my head.
Kyle Kuzma.
Zach Levine.
Lonzo Ball.
Chris Paul. Nah, they friends.
Kevin Love.
Max contract that he got after he made the All-Star team. You don't know if
He left Kevin Love.
if now they know him by one name for one summer. You just don't know. But it's like if you want to be great and want to be like legendary, or not even, I don't even say that. If you want to maximize everything that you have with your career and your ability, then squeeze the fuck out of that lemon.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I want to talk about each of those three things in depth because I also have three things. A little in depth because I also have three things.
Oh yeah, and also we're gonna do the video in 2 parts, by the way. So we're gonna stop at 20 minutes, and we're gonna have a part 2 out. So, but trust me, they will get uploaded probably on back-to-back days because we don't want to leave you hanging like that. Plus, we do have other videos to get out, so we do have to get these videos out at a certain, time. So yeah.
The history of the game part's interesting to me because you brought up Oscar Robertson, and whether the casual fan knows this or not, Oscar Robertson sued in 1970 for free agency. And that court case took 6 years. So the NBA really didn't have any form of free agency until 1976. Side note, in 1977, at the time in free agency, you had to compensate the team that was losing the player. So Gail Goodrich left the Los Angeles Lakers and went to the Jazz. The Jazz compensated the Lakers with some future draft picks. One of those picks turned out to be Magic Johnson. It's pretty interesting. You talked about the discipline. It's pretty interesting.
That's pretty cool, though. It's like soccer now.
Yeah.
It's like soccer. You got to compensate the club in order.
There wasn't real unrestricted free agency. John Concac was the first guy, and that was like 1987.
Right.
Like you said, soccer, that just reminded me how much LeBron be lying. So when LeBron lies in this video,
You gonna call it out?
I gotta call it out.
Right. It just didn't exist.
Right.
The reason, I didn't make as much money as you, but the reason I got to make a lot of money in the NBA is like, it's a direct line to Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's celebrate that, right? You talked about the sacrificing loved ones. I always felt like my pursuit was so selfish.
Yeah.
And I would acknowledge that to my wife, my kids, whatever, my friends.
Yeah.
It was so selfish. But
Yeah.
it was like the only way that I knew how to do it. Only way.
That's it.
So you touched on those things. My 3 things are competitive stamina, which I'm going to get to in a second. The love of the game is one of mine, for sure. Caring more about your craft instead of the other stuff that doesn't matter is a direct quote from you.
For sure.
And then the third one, I think, is basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Basketball IQ. I have described Nikola Jokic, I've described you as having supercomputers. Like your processing speed is a little different. I put James Harden in that category. I put Luka in that category.
Yeah.
There's a number of guys
that
have like a different processing speed. Some of this stuff, love of the game, that's a little bit of just desire, attitude, all that stuff. Competitive stamina, same thing. Can you develop basketball IQ at the highest level? You can get a little...
I feel like you can develop like passing IQ, shot IQ, defensive IQ, like when it takes certain layups. But as far as like he said, like that processing speed, I feel like that's just something that you have or you don't. And that holds a lot of people back.
Not exactly. I say you can always gain certain stuff like that, but it just takes time. Certain stuff like, like the things where you have to do it's like reaction speed. It's like a reaction speed test where you got to click the buttons and hit the light before it disappears to the next button. And you got to keep finding the light. That helps you build your reaction time, right? Like stuff like that. There's always ways in this world to get better at anything, mentally, physically, whatever. Like you can always make yourself better, but it just takes time for certain stuff. Like getting a better shot, just get on a shooting machine for one day, find your shot, just like that. Do it that consistently for the rest of the time you playing basketball until you want to change it up. Dribbling, do the same thing. Just takes consistent reps. Passing, it just takes you consistent reps of passing the ball. Like anything, you can always grow any type of IQ in basketball, in any ways. So that's never a thing to just say that you can't just grow any IQ anymore, because you can always get better in every.
How come you think certain NBA players are dumb on court?
What do you mean emphasize dumb?
So I'll say Kyle Kuzma, right?
Yeah.
You know how he'll always try to do that throw off the backboard, catch, self-lob kind of dunk? He'll do it, and sometimes it will be effective, but sometimes it's the wrong time to do it, and so he misses, air balls, the ball stolen, et cetera, et cetera. It's just like how in 2K when I do the Euro steps, and sometimes I overdo it. It's like the thought process. And yes, I feel like you could get better with the discipline, but like just your overall thought capacity, I don't know if that's going to grow once you get to a certain point.
I mean, it always can, because at the end of the day, with all you said, I mean, it just takes getting better at that certain thing.
But the NBA players aren't good at it.
as I said, it just takes getting better because there's a lot of it's a lot of sorry dudes in the NBA. As LeBron has said before, it's a lot of sorry dudes in the NBA that have gotten better. Like, and you would think that dudes are sorry, but they get better. Like dudes like Draymond Green that you'll see every single time he get on the floor, it's something to make fun of him about. But he's consistently getting better than the next guy.
I thought you were going to say consistently getting made fun of.
Nah, he's consistently getting better than the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy. And that's why every single person in these centers you keep seeing get on the Warriors, James Wiseman, he's going to send Draymond League to the G League or whatever. Like, he didn't. Draymond League sent him to motherfucking Shanghai Sharks.
Never mind. I ain't going to say that.
Right. Can you develop it as
I know it's funny. When you brought up basketball IQ, the first thing that came to my mind, I started thinking right away. I was like, are you born with basketball IQ, or are you taught the game the right way, and now the basketball IQ clicks on? Like, I was literally just when you was explaining that, because I come from
factual as fuck. That's so factual.
I believe, great coaching.
I know, but I'm saying in general, like that statement right there is factual as fuck, and I'm gonna agree with that because you see guys that aren't crazily skilled. No, I'm saying I know it was a question, but I'm saying if he selects that answer, that's factual as fuck. Like, I picked that answer because, like, people that's not crazy skilled, like Jalen Brunson, he's not no crazy Kyrie ass player, but he was taught the game right, and he learned how to play the game right, and in my opinion, he's top 5 guards in the league right now. Can you name me 4? Well, you can name me 4 guards better than him, but can you name me 10?
Steph, Luka, Kyrie. Are we counting Kyrie?
Yeah.
Okay, Kyrie. Anthony Edwards. I'll take Dame at this point in time because Jalen Brunson slowed down.
I can't take Dame over Jalen Brunson this season right now in the league. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't.
I was finna say some crazy shit.
Can't.
I was finna say some crazy shit.
What?
But Ja's
not in the league right now.
But he's a point guard in the NBA.
But I'm saying right now, currently.
Womp, Steph, Luka, and taking Dame. Then hold on, because I know I'm tripping.
I'm sorry, but I can't. I have to put him top 5. Once you say that name, I put Jalen Brunson right there at that 5 spot. That everybody else goes right there.
I'm not saying he hasn't been hooping because he definitely has. What if I said Russ? Would you be mad?
That's where the conversation ends.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, Devin Booker. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Yeah, Devin Booker has been playing
even the point guard on his team right now because Bradley Beal is playing point guard.
Shea.
I put him up there. I actually put Shea up there with Curry.
Fox.
Not over Jalen Brunson.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm taking Halliburton. He's just struggling right now.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
He hasn't been doing it consistently as Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson on a bad night.
He got hurt.
I know, but Jalen Brunson on a bad night, he still give you fucking 17, 8, 9.
Well, like he's playing with a hamstring injury, so he doesn't miss his Supermax contract.
I mean, shit.
That's top 10.
I still don't take.
My Little League coach, Frank Walker.
So
he was talking him right.
Curry.
Oh, Steph Curry. He said Steph and then Curry.
Steph, Luka, and Devin Booker, Tyrese Halliburton.
Jalen Brunson right there. Jalen Brunson's right there over Tyrese Halliburton. I'm sorry.
Senior to my, at the time, AAU coach, Coach Drew Joyce, to my high school coach, who was a former college coach, Coach Dambrot, and then my AAU coach took over when Coach Dambrot went back to college basketball. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I was taught the game the right way. But the one thing that those coaches always told me, they told me that I had an uncanny ability to process information faster than anyone they've ever seen. One coach, and this is, I know you're gonna smirk about this. There's guys in the NBA that if you call a play or a coach draw a play to one side of the floor, they can't switch it in their head. and do it and say, let's run it to the other side without the coach drawing on the clipboard.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. And I don't know. I never understood that. So if I say we're running thumb down angle, we're running on the right side. So because I have a left-hand point guard, he wants to come middle to a strong hand. He has the ability to hit the pocket pass with the left hand, has the ability to throw ahead, he's lefty, and also has the ability to throw back on the shake. But if I say, hey, we run a thumb down angle on the left side because now the right-hand guard coming right, I've had teammates that's like, oh, what do you mean? Coaches always, in practice, we only ran it from this side.
Yeah.
I could flip a play when I was 8 years old. No matter if it was just pass and cut, no matter if it was, let's run flex, but let's start on the left side. No matter if it was just, let's DHO, driving kick. The last one, all right, now let's just drive the baseline, drive, drift. If the forward on the left side is looking at the ball, you can slot cut. I could do that. I was doing that stuff when I was like 8, 9 years old, and my coaches would just be blown away, and I wouldn't know where it came from. I have no idea. So to get back to your question, I think I was born with a sports IQ, and it could have been any sport, but I just think basketball was the one that I chose, and maybe I was chosen to do that as well. I chose, and maybe I was chosen to do that as well. And I just took it to a whole, as I got older and your mind gets, you start to live it, you start to want to be a part of it, you start watching. I started watching the games, when I was like 9, 10 years old. When I first started, I was watching just a fan. I was just a fan of Michael Jordan and Anthony Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill and, those guys. I was just a fan. But then when I started playing the game, I actually started like studying what those guys were doing out on the floor and what teams were doing, how teams were guarding, how coaches were coaching, subbing patterns, time of possession. One thing that kills me, JJ, in our league. I'm gonna tell you what kills me.
Tell me what kills you.
We're going to end it off on that note since he's finished with that story right there. That's part 1 of What Makes a Great Basketball Player by LeBron James and JJ Reddick. We will have part 2 out literally either the same day or the next day after we upload this video. So whenever you see this video, either you're going to have the next day or the same day. Later that day, it'll be a little special for y'all since we didn't get that many videos out for y'all during spring break. So I talked to Zay about that. We might do a little trade-off editing these videos. So thank you for watching this video. Do you have any comments?
Excited for part 2.
Excited for part 2. I do want to see part 2. It's just great seeing LeBron on the podcast and JJ Reddick because we just, we really need to hear stuff like this. Hear from the great respective positions, He was a great shooter. He's still a great, arguably greatest player of all time. So it's like we love to hear stuff like that, hear stuff like this. So tune in for part 2. We're excited. Hope you're excited. Like, subscribe, follow me and Zay on Instagram. Links will be in the description to all of our social medias. Thank you for watching, and we are out. So we back. So we weren't going to make a whole other video. We decided we're just going to put this video inside the other video because we didn't get it out yet. So we didn't even edit it yet. So we're just going to edit it all together. So we're back, and we stopped at 2108, and we are starting back at 2108. Anything?
The 2-for-1 shot. Playing the game, I actually started like studying what those guys were doing out on the floor and what teams were doing, how teams were guarding, how coaches were coaching, subbing patterns, time of possession. One thing that kills me, JJ, in our league. I'm gonna tell you what kills me.
Tell me what kills you.
The 2-for-1 shot at the end of quarters.
Are you going on an anti-crusade against the 2-for-1?
I understand why the 2-for-1 is important. Obviously, it's numbers. You get 2 possessions, the other team gets 1 possession.
In theory, it's a free shot.
In theory, it's a free shot. But what people sometimes don't account for, the 4 or 5 possessions before that. Are we on a run? Are we on a heater? Have we gotten a good shot over the last 2.5 minutes? What is the other team doing? How are they in a great rhythm? If we haven't gotten a great shot in 2.5, 3 minutes, and we've been turning the ball over, why am I just going to dribble down and shoot a 40-footer with 33 on the clock? Why not get a great look? Because that great look at the end of the third, even if we get one shot, may give us momentum going into the fourth quarter.
Right. It's interesting because I think it does fuck with the flow of the game. And as a player, I felt that. As a broadcaster now, where I'm calling games, you have such a good feel as like an outside observer of this action happening. So, end of the second quarter, you're going into halftime with the lead. You've established, let's say, a pick and roll partnership where you're getting a good shot every time down the floor. On the other end, you're getting stops. The other team's having, you're right. Why are you going to just jack up a 35-footer? Just go to the pick and roll, rely on your defense. Now, boom, you go into the half with essentially the same momentum you would have if you get the 2-for-1.
Yeah.
By the way, you shouted out your coaches. I want to say this because I think some of it is innate with basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Fuck Darvin Ham. I stand on that. If I seen Darvin Ham, I'd slap the shit out that ball, nigga.
You gonna crash out over
Crash
there,
out. Yeah. I feel like you could be a better coach than him. Torn imprints, 42 minutes. D-Lo, 18 minutes. I digress.
Some of it is the way you're taught. Some of it is going back to your point about discipline, the dedication to the craft. I gotta shout out my coaches now because Delmar Irving, Keith Haynes, Dick Wall, my early coaches for the Roanoke Jaguars. They taught me how to play. They taught me how to play with toughness.
Bro, we too childish for
Nigga
that
stuck
shit,
that nigga. He said Dick Wall.
Too childish
I get
for that
to
shit.
JV, 8th grade, Chris Morris, Billy Hicks. Then I go to Coach K at Duke. So by the time I got to the NBA, I knew how to process and think the game. It wasn't new to me. It wasn't new to me to think the game.
You also knew it was bullshit and what was not bullshit.
Yes.
There's a lot of bullshit that gets taught in our league because our league has been feast off potential.
Facts.
Guys with potential. They come in and say, this guy has potential. We have to, if it's not year 1, maybe year 2, or not year 3, or maybe year 4, or we're going to pick up his option in year 4. Like, it's been grasped on potential. Like, that's the whole thing of the lottery. The whole thing of the lottery, pick 1 through 13 or 14, I don't even know what it is now when it cuts off, like, you've been a lottery pick. But it makes sense why those guys that's like 16 to 30, 16 to 42, why those guys be on real contending teams making impacts.
Why is it the same teams that always draft well? And the same teams that always draft poorly?
I'll tell you, when I get my team, the teams that draft well, those guys will be working for me for sure.
Just you get to offer them a bag.
Is that a slug at the Lakers?
Might just be. I mean, LeBron has made it clear that he's not really planning on being loyal to the Lakers for long. I mean, he's obviously said he's he's open to go anywhere where his son goes. That's not showing that he's loyal to the Lakers for a few more years. I say either this is his last, or next season will be his last season with the Lakers. If I'm being honest, I can see him testing free agency before he retires, going to the team, pulling the Shaq.
But the Lakers ain't even been that loyal to him, though, so I don't feel like he owes them nothing.
Not really.
Because they haven't really been trying their best to build a team around him to win.
They've only been just accommodating, just to giving him the
just
stats
to say
and the
they was
minutes.
able to.
So the stats and the minutes and the points and the stat pad and the sheets, that's it. That's all they gave him. They never gave him nothing to build around and build a dynasty around. So it's like, I mean, he really owes them nothing. Like he owes the Cavs, like he owes the Heat, like he owes them nothing. No cap. But I mean, they owe him a lot. He owes them nothing. They owe him a lot.
Because he got the only thing he can get for him.
Exactly, a ring. What more do you want from
Could have
him?
got more, but
all he doing is breaking records in y'all jersey now. So he's breaking records in y'all jersey. Y'all owe him a
making
lot.
money off of him too.
Y'all owe him a lot of money. Not even money. Y'all owe him a lot of loyalty, respect, everything. He owes y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to get
OKC does an unbelievable job with that.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
that's a fact. I was thinking about, this. So by like the end of my first year with the Clippers, we realized all of my catch and shoot stuff. I wanted to come over left shoulder.
Yes, sir.
Right. I wanted to come to my right.
Yes, sir.
And so for the next 3 years, every single time we drew up a play, it was to do that, right? When I got to like Philly, to your point about like guys not understanding this, when I got to like Philly and New Orleans, the coaches would draw up a play in the huddle, and I'd be like, no, I want to come over my left shoulder. Just flip it.
Yeah,
and I'd walk out on the court, and then my teammates would be like, oh, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? I'm like, no, just flip it. Which guys, by the way, the processing speed, I mentioned a few guys. Guys you played with, guys you played against, that you think have that sort of high-level basketball IQ?
Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
For sure. He can process, flip, do things on the go. Like, it's very weird to me that he's not coaching at a high level. I think it's because he doesn't want to do it.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. And who wants to deal with all these rich, entitled guys all the time?
You guys make too much money.
It's just a weird thing.
You guys make too much money.
It's just a weird
Let's
thing.
get a cheers, man.
Let's get a cheers, man. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for the wine, by
It
the way.
smells amazing, too.
But that boy is in jail.
Rondo?
Going back to that competitive stamina thing, because I was calling the game, and I knew this because I played in LA, but Clippers home games against the Lakers is not really a home game. Half the crowd are Clippers fans, half the crowd are Lakers fans. And so the arena felt very subdued, because you guys were getting your ass kicked. The body language was bad. I think I even mentioned that on the air. Like, you just saw it in the huddles. You saw it coming out of timeouts, going into timeouts. You saw it when guys were getting subbed out.
Yeah.
Like, it was just bad body language. And then, as Darvin Ham said, you decided to put your cape on and lead this comeback. You outscored the Clippers by yourself in the fourth quarter. In that moment where you're down 19 in the fourth, it's a dead game. Your team is, I call it like letting go of the rope. Doc Rivers used to always say that. Don't let go of the rope.
Yep.
What goes through your mind?
You probably got a few minutes to try to change it, or you're gonna get pulled. Knowing it's a back-to-back. Knowing that, okay, we lose to the Clippers. We got our ass kicked, okay. But we can't then in the very next night lose to Washington as well. So I go out there at down 19, with the lineup, I believe at the start of the fourth lineup, it was myself, D-Lo, Jackson Hayes, Torian Prince, Cam Reddish. So, Coach drew up a play. First play, they believe it draws up Horn's chest. And they fucked up. They fucked up on the Horn's chest. So we ran it again. And that's another thing that bothers me about the NBA too. Why do we not continue? Just run the same thing over and over until they stop it. But guys would run a play one time, then you would score, and then they'd change the play. But anyways, we ran it again, and they fucked it up again. So, for me, if I see 2 threes go down, I'm going to check and see if it's a heater in this right elbow for sure. And I hit another one. And at this point, now I'm feeling really good. I got a nice bounce in my step. We getting stops, and I take one down the right wing, and PJ's picking me up in transition. And I rarely shoot the ball on the run. Especially if the ball's in my right hand, I rarely shoot it.
So tough, bro. He's just finna be
But I
40, bro.
had a bounce and I had a feeling. I felt like I said, if I can make this one go, I know. This is when like NBA Jam, you're on fire. If this one goes, and I let that one go from the right wing by their bench. So I kind of almost bumped into T. Lue, and they called a timeout. That's when I knew that the momentum can change. The momentum can change, and once the snowball gets going down that hill, snowball turns into the avalanche, and the avalanche just turns into it's over with. So I just felt good at that moment.
It's a few things there. So, like with the 3 ball, we've seen it so often now. No.
Short-term terminology. He got takeover, and he fucked everybody up. That's basically what he's saying. That's basically what he's saying. Green fuck nigga on everybody.
It is really safe.
No.
Think back to early in your career. I came in the league in 06, 07. I played no minutes my first 2 years.
Yeah.
But you know what? If we had a 19-point lead going into the fourth, I might get all 12 minutes of garbage time.
For sure.
People would clear their benches.
Yeah, for sure.
This was 15 years ago.
For sure.
People would clear their benches with a 17-point lead in the fourth and 9 minutes to go.
For sure.
You can't do that anymore.
You can't do that anymore. You know why? Because I believe in 08, 09, or whenever that little light-skinned fucker came in the league, that's in Golden State, he changed that whole narrative. He did. He single-handedly changed the no lead is safe. It's like Pat Mahomes right now.
It's interesting you bring up Steph because I think there's
Love that guy.
a long history
I love
of
Steph.
great players that have impacted the game. And you can see a lineage between different skill sets, right? Michael to Kobe,
Yep.
right? You can see that.
Yep.
I don't know that there's been a player that has influenced the game more than Steph. And you can certainly point
What they say now? We done with the 90s.
We done with the
We
90s.
done with the 90s.
like Harden
Yeah.
for sure in that era, Damian Lillard for sure. But you're right. It started.
Bro, I gotta put the clip in here, bro. You remember when they had that? They had Unc crying on live because they were like, "We done."
You done with that?
He started tearing up. Bro, I feel so bad.
Steph.
When it comes to influence, since I've been watching the game, the most influence on the game, and obviously we know what Mike did for the game.
Sure.
You know, Steph and Allen Iverson are the two biggest influential guys in our game since I've been watching it and covering it. You know, one, they're 6'3", 6'4", if you want to.
I don't know if you want to crystal.
Steph's not 6'4".
If you want to look on the back of the basketball card, you know, you're always a lot taller on the back of the basketball card. You know, Allen Iverson and Steph, they were just so relatable, and kids felt like they could be them. They were guys that was not always counted on. They were small in stature, and they just defined the odds. So you got AI, who's like unbelievable crossover, cornrows, arm sleeve. We wear arm sleeve. Everyone wears an arm sleeve now because of Allen Iverson. And he's going in the trenches, you know, laying it up over bigs, whatever the case may be. And now you have Steph, who's shooting over the Empire State Building. You know, it's like those two are the two most influential when you say the game, how they changed the game, and the kids, and like those are two guys that you just wanted to watch every single night.
I have an arm sleeve because of Allen Iverson. Like, no bullshit.
Listen,
no bullshit.
One of my tattoos is because of Allen Iverson.
Like,
sure.
And Steph, I think he changed, like the influence with Steph, I think is like he fundamentally changed how we viewed how the game should be played with the 3-point shot. Do you think, because part of the Steph thing and this 3-point revolution for a fan is that we have now simplified the NBA. All right, we're just going to shoot a bunch of threes.
Yeah.
My question to you, going back to that basketball intelligence piece, does the game require more basketball intelligence now, or does it require less than when you first started?
You can't ask me that because I'm always signed on basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Always. I think throughout the regular season, you can get away with a low IQ team if you're talented. You can get away with it in the first round and maybe get away with it in the second round. But when you get to the conference finals and you get to the finals, obviously the top 4 teams in the conference finals, they have players, unless a team just happened to hit a heater and they just get lucky. But the top 4 teams normally are going to be the teams with the best players, 4 of the best coaches. And what's going to separate them is now the basketball IQ kicks in.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. like Denver, it would be one of those 4 teams that he's referring to. If any of y'all watch basketball, the most recent Lakers versus Denver game, it was tied going into the fourth quarter, but towards the end of the fourth quarter, Denver just took a lead because Mike Malone was out coaching Darvin Ham, and their players were all on the same page and hitting shots. And even on like the last play, we had a chance to, I think, tie the game. And Austin Reeves came off of Michael Porter Jr. in the left wing, and the team just communicated, and Jokic threw like just a regular pass to Michael Porter Jr. He hit the dagger. And so the basketball IQ, like he said, getting away with it in the regular season and not in the playoffs is really real. Because you remember like the Atlanta Hawks when they made that playoff run?
Yes, I do remember that. That was like, what, 2019? Right, 20. No, it was just going before 2020. It was that season before 2020. It was 2019. Season before the bubble. That's when Trae Young and then went against the Bucks.
Yeah.
And Trae Young was going crazy, but he disappeared, and the Bucks ended up taking that series. I think 4-2.
What has the Hawks done since?
And the Hawks haven't recovered since. They've been on a rebuild since. But just playing like dog shit. They got DeJounte Murray. I thought they were going to make a playoff push this season, but they're what, like 20-40? Like, come on now. Trae Young needs to get out of there, in my opinion. DeJounte Murray, go to the Lakers, in my opinion. Austin Reeves isn't going to be there for long because they're not going to be able to pay him sooner or later. They're going to, unless LeBron leaves. Now, if LeBron leaves, then I can see Austin
he's on
Reeves.
like a 3-year right now. And what time?
Yeah, by the time that 3 is over, LeBron's going to be long gone.
Yeah.
But I don't know about D-Lo. D-Lo might.
D-Lo's on the 1 year on option, so he's guaranteed. If he plays good during the playoffs, he's coming back next season.
I mean, yeah, but in my opinion,
even if he play bad, they might bring him back.
Yeah,
just to trade him.
Trade value.
Because there's moments in the game that a coach cannot prepare you for, film can't prepare you for, the history of the game can't prepare you for, where you have to have a basketball IQ to make adjustments right away. And if you don't have that level of mind frame or capacity, then a team like Denver, who has one of the greatest IQ guys that we've ever seen in Jokic, Golden State, Draymond, Steph, any one of my teams, if I played you in the finals, myself, and when I won it in 20, it was myself and Rondo on the floor. So I think that those things help. I believe that when Golden State beat Boston, it came down to IQ in the finals. Because Boston, to me, had the better talent. Boston had the better talent. But it came down to IQ. People say experience, IQ.
I made this comment the other day about Tatum. It feels like with him, the reads are quicker. Making the right play, it's just quicker. He doesn't fight the game as much. I did.
Now imagine like a fairy tale story. The Celtics versus the Lakers in the finals.
That's what they want.
Celtics versus the Lakers.
You know how much money the NBA would make?
LeBron versus the Boston Celtics again, new generation.
And then it would because they both have 17 championships, like the organization.
Who's going to get 18?
Yeah. You know how much money they would make, bro?
New generation.
That Boston game, bro. The Lakers could have went too when Golden State won.
What did Boston get their get back this time, though? New generation excelling against the old generation.
I think the Lakers would. 7-game series.
7-game series, I'm taking LeBron.
Yeah.
But in a sweep scenario, I'm taking it 4-2 Celtics.
Yeah.
I'm taking that 4-2 Celtics.
Because I can see them closing out a game 6.
But then again, the Lakers play really good when they need to.
It just depends
when they need to.
When they go to Boston, that might just.
Because y'all seen them last season. We were calling the Lakers terrible, but like at the end of the day, when it came down to it, they made it as far as they did and put up a pretty damn good series against Denver, the team that won the finals. Mm-hmm. Imagine they would have beat Denver, then who would have been in their way?
Nobody. Literally, bro. If the Lakers would have beat Denver, they would have.
Like, you're telling me the Lakers would have beat the Heat? I mean, yes. the Heat would have beat the Lakers?
No. It would have been the same shit.
The Lakers would have thrashed them, bro.
the details thing for ESPN.
Yeah.
During that finals, and I did Clay was the first episode, Steph was the second episode, Tatum was the third, and so I had all these Tatum clips I got to go through and break down. I don't never watch the episode. They it's behind a paywall. But what I saw was on the isolations on the wing. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times would be in the slot, the high quadrant, right? And they've given him space. They would bring that low man over early. Sometimes it was Draymond, but not always. Sometimes it was Clay. And very rarely did he end up getting the goal.
That is factual as fuck, because when it came to that series right there, we all knew Boston had a way superior team than Golden State. That's why everybody had the chances of the Warriors losing to so little. But at the end of the day, it came down to Steph Curry, IQ, the connection with him, Clay, and Draymond.
Steve Kerr,
Jordan
because they had Ime Udoka at this time, I believe. Mm-hmm. Or this might have been the first year with the new guy.
Nah, this was Ime Udoka. No. Ime Udoka he didn't make it, and Joe Mazzulla took over.
Yeah, so this might have been the first year with Joe Mazzulla. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think another thing with Tatum, me and Dame talk about this all the time. He's like 6'9", like 230. If he got to the rim more often, he could be like LeBron with a better jump shot.
Literally.
But he
more
just doesn't
agile.
want to get to it. He's shiftier, way shiftier.
Got a better jump shot, way more open opportunities.
And get into the rim.
He'll get there though. When Jaylen Brown leave, I feel like they'll open. Or Jaylen Brown's not going to be leaving for a long time. Well, he goes to another team, I feel like we're going to see that inside of him.
Take him to the Spurs.
Because that's how he was in high school and college. If you watch his
to the Spurs.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Because if you watched his highlights in college and high school, literally he was getting to the rim, pull up jumpers all the time. He was barely shooting through till he got here, where he can't really do much because the floor isn't really open for him. Like, if he gets to a team that accommodates to him and builds around him, because they're never going to build around him because they're too low to Jaylen Brown. So I don't see it happening. But, yeah.
State Warriors into rotation.
Yeah.
Now, it feels like he's just making the play off the ball. Now, it did happen a couple times in that finals.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as quick, and it was rare.
Yeah.
And obviously with their personnel, like, it's different now with Porzingis, but I think that's part of like the growth. So
that's part of the
even
growth.
Going back to like the question about can you teach basketball IQ? In some ways, it's innate,
right?
But in some ways, if you're studying it and doing it, you can see the growth in a player.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a great saying that says the best teacher in life is experience, as well. And we look at Tate. I mean, he's 25 years old. He's 25 years old, and I believe he's been to the conference finals 4 times. Been to obviously the NBA finals once. He's 25. I didn't win my first one until I was 28. I think Joker won his first one at 27. I think MJ was 28 as well.
Kobe without Shaq was around.
Yeah. So
Steph was.
So like, I think we have we have a lot of expectations on JT, but he's experienced a lot of winning in his career so far, and obviously we everyone wants to see him get over the hump, but 4 conference finals in a finals appearance before the age of 26 that's elite. And like you just said, he's continued to grow, and they are in a position where they can make another title run. And like you said, personnel helps. Adam Porzingis and getting Drew for a bag of Lay's potato chips that helps as well. Drew for a bag of Lay's potato chips. They are in a position where they can make another title run. And like you said, personnel helps. Adam Porzingis and getting Drew for a bag of Lay's potato chips, that helps as well.
Is he lying? They traded Michael Brogdon and Robert Williams, and neither one of them plays.
Wait. Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams.
They both play on the Trailblazers, and they're both hurt.
He was talking about Drew, right? Drew Holiday? They traded him from the Bucks. Also, it was a three-way trade?
Because the Bucks traded Drew Holiday to the Blazers for Dame. And then after that, like up before the season, they traded Robert Williams and Drew Holiday, and I think like a second round pick for Drew Holiday. And they got Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know.
Potato chips and Lay's.
They got him from Marcus
Smart. The amount of disrespect from Robert.
Bro, because they be trying to tax the Lakers.
That helps as well, but JT is definitely the when you go and you start scouting for Boston, he's the number one guy for sure.
Basketball IQ to me, when you were earlier than me, when I first got in the NBA though, what that meant to me in some ways was being able to remember a play. Honestly, as simple as that. Being able to recognize patterns.
Yep.
You come out of an ATO, okay.
Oh my God.
There's a misdirection here. I know there's going to be a pin down coming, right? It's just that's pattern recognition.
Yep.
Offensively, defensively, it's just making the right read.
Making the right read.
Knowing the game plan, like all that. That's basketball IQ. I think what's interesting about today's NBA is what smart coaches do and what smart players do, which did not happen when I first got to the NBA. Nearly every possession, all you're doing is trying to find the right matchup.
A target.
You're playing chess on the possession.
Target basketball. Yeah.
And that to me is the biggest difference.
Yeah, that never happened.
Bro, I was watching a game. I was calling a game, actually. Guy had the ball. Good offensive player had the ball at the top of the key. And they're playing the Clippers. And end of the shot clock, 7 on the clock. Another guy off the ball is being guarded by Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes up to set a pick and roll for the guy with the ball.
And it makes no sense.
And I'm like, that's just low basketball IQ.
That's just low basketball IQ.
Keep Kawhi away from the ball.
That is low basketball IQ. That is low basketball IQ. That doesn't make any sense. And that happens a lot, Narp. And I'm going to go back to when you first started. You said remembering a play. How many guys fuck up a play out of timeout? Burns me alive. It burns me alive that a coach can sit there and guys, all 5 guys, 10 eyes are looking at the play and they come out of timeout, fuck it up. Bothers me so bad. But yeah, like you said, you knew, like when you played, you had 2 reads. I'm coming off left, right, and if the big is not up, I'm shooting that bitch. And if the big is up, I'm pocket passing.
Yeah.
What else are we talking about?
Well, the one other thing, sometimes the big would be back, right? And I'd get this stun off the passer.
And you get the stun off the passer.
So like when I played in Philly, they would do that off Ben, and then I would just kick to Ben, and he's got a head of steam going down the lane.
Well, I mean,
right?
And when Ben,
you gotta read the nail guy too.
You gotta read the nail guy.
I don't kind of like underestimate.
Well, that's not. Well, that's not. Yes, I agree. I agree. I was more thinking with the Clippers. I was thinking with the Clippers. Okay. Pocket to.
It's so weird though because even like the coverage on catch and shoot stuff, and there's not a ton of catch and shoot guys right anymore. Where like you're not running floppy. This happen a lot. Yeah. But like when I first started running it, or like Ray,
it's really not.
Everybody's 2 ways. Athletic.
Everybody has to be athletic. You have to be able to dunk the ball and be able to shoot consistently. Yep, all of that. Shoot consistently too.
More skilled. There's not really role players. Everybody's just well-rounded.
You have to be.
And if you're not, you have to be elite, like Giannis.
Yep.
So.
You gotta be everything else.
When you're running that, you would always stun up with the big. And the pocket pass was always there.
Always there.
Once teams started playing more drop coverage, they just kept the big back and catch and shoot.
Right.
And so a lot of times that help would actually come off the passer. So if they knew we were in a catch and shoot play, kick to me, the help comes off the passer. Then it's I got to make that read back to the top.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because now offense is so more extended now. The big could be the guy that can help up a little bit because, if you look at like Rip Hamilton, at the time he wasn't coming off their floppy down action going to the 3-point line. He was coming off more elbow action, so you can kind of, contact help with the big, and then mostly when we came in the league, there was a point guard in the front. There was another forward at the free throw line, and there was 2 bigs. So even if you did get extended a little bit when you made the pocket pass, at least the other big X4, X5 could come over and help. Now, in Boston's case, it's 5 guys on the perimeter at one time.
Nobody's in the paint.
You have Drew, Jason, Brown, Porzingis could be at the top. He could be, you got Derek White. They're all over the place. So, the level of where you help from has changed a lot because the bigs in basketball history have been programmed to help no matter where they are. And that's where the IQ comes in too. You got certain bigs that if I just drive this slot and they say, don't help strong side shooter in the corner. That is the easiest three. You just know that there's certain bigs that he's going to leave no matter what because he's been programmed his whole life to protect the rim.
I think we'll wrap there. Because if I go to the next thing, we're going to talk for another hour.
Yeah, because I can talk.
No, I'm serious. Like, because that was legitimate. What I had is episode 1. All right, that's been fun.
How was it? Just keep rolling. How was it? Subpar? That's me. Only okay. We got room for improvement.
This has been episode 1 of Mind the Game.
Yes. I thought it was a good podcast.
Definitely excited for what's coming up next.
Exactly. Like we said at the beginning, it's good to hear not so much of the drama of the game, but more of the rules and what actually great players at their respective positions feel about the game. And because, it could involve some change. Because we think we're the biggest refs more than the refs of the actual game, because anything that happens, we're going to say, oh, it did or it didn't happen, and we're going to spin a narrative either way it goes. So, it's good to hear it from them rather than hearing it from us or other players about drama. So, I say I would be grateful to watch another podcast like this. Lebron and JJ Reddick, thank you for this. Thank you for this podcast. Thank you for this 43 minutes. Links, social medias in the description. We got a few more videos coming out for you guys this week, probably, hopefully. And subscribe, like, comment, share, post in your story. If you want to support, go ahead. I'm out.